Let's rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll start with the consent agenda and approval of the order of business.
I'll approve the order of business.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And approval of the December regular board meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the December regular board meeting minutes.
I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. We'll start with visitors and patrons. Okay. Communications and petitions. Don't have anything. Okay. Next we'll move on to our public comment period for non-agenda items and non-personnel related items. Okay. Next we'll move on to program updates, starting with FFA.
Good evening, I'm our treasurer this year, and we did great this month at Southwestern District LDE contestants. Our first sales team took first place, which consisted of Sophia Evans, AC Kelly, Gracie White, and Vincent Brasino. I pronounced that wrong. And they got this award.
Thanks.
And our second sales team took third place, which consisted of Claire Evans, Cadence Jensen, Cooper Fallon, and Griffin Jensen. Our course evaluation team took second place, which consisted of Courtney Merritt, Anna Tribble, Peyton Vandervoort, Tad Kelly, Kennedy Wright, Oakley Fallon, and Taylor Testy. And Claire Evans took first place in junior creed speaking, which is great. Bradley Douglas took seventh place in creed speaking, and we qualified sales team, a horse team, and a junior creed speaker for the 2026 FFA State Convention. Our Christmas wreath and poinsettia sale was a great success, and we are so very grateful to all of you who support us. Our upcoming events include KMLN, which was tonight, Fergus Mechanics, Columbia's Farm Business Management Seminar, and the Spring Districts in Townsend. Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Next we'll move on to CTE.
Okay, so teacher toasts go out this month to Joseph Barrett, Ben Kane, Bobby Lauber, Casey Buska, myself, and Jess Emke. We all did Take Two or Three Forks Education Foundation 2.0 and received funding in addition to the ones that were awarded in the fall. And Jess and I both received Donors Choose this month for some projects that we're working on. Our Career Connections project for FCCLA, we're learning about careers as we work on publishing our own cookbook with a publishing company out of Chicago. The final middle school career Zoom meeting was the first semester, was held last week. We had Jenna Baker, who works for ADM, which is a food company that is over Rodell Vanilla. They are a major manufacturer of vanilla in the United States, and they are out of Colorado. We learned all about the process of vanilla, and we all know now why it's so expensive. So if you see those kids, you can ask them why real vanilla is so expensive. National FCCLA Week is February 9th through the 13th, and students are planning activities for that week. FCCLA is also working on designing a wrap for one of the little white buses through a grant from the Montana Department of Transportation. The culinary students used our new ice cream freezers purchased with our Three Forks Education Foundation funds to make ice cream as their semester project, they thought that was the best test they've ever had. We will also be using our pasta machines in the next month to make homemade ravioli. So that's gonna be pretty tasty as well. Mike installed our new stacking washer dryer this week, which was paid for funds out of our rural reserve or Perkins Reserve funds. So, yeah, not a lot happened in December because we had Christmas break, but we're rolling out. Second semester.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Next we'll move on to an update from the PAC.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rachel Krug. I am the treasurer for the Three Forks PAC. Couple quick things. We were asked to help with the speech, debate, and dramas meet this past weekend. We took care of the hospitality room and we did some work with the band kids to help them with the concessions. We do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. We had a lot of them and it was amazing the amount that we could do because of all the different sponsors here locally and in the Valley. Michelle Mulhill, Jamie Ewan, Katie Warner, the Sacagawea, Wheat Montana, Monarch Farm, Last Best Barbecue, Town and Country Foods in Belgrade, Bridger Brewing, Busy Bee Bakery, and Golden West Enterprises. So we do want to give a really big thank you to all of them. We are kicking back into the new year. It's January. We're all very excited to be back at it. We are planning some fundraising since we are in a new tax year. So we are working on some fundraising, looking forward to the rest of this year along with the beginning of next year. So we're really excited for the things we have coming. As a reminder to teachers, it is the second semester now. We are always looking for opportunities to help in classrooms, help with your projects. So if you have a project in classroom that you need help with, we'd love to be a part of that. If you need volunteers for something, we'd love to either help find volunteers or volunteer if we can. So reach out to us. I don't remember our school email off the top of my head, but it's tfwolfpack@gmail.com. But check my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything. I think that's just about everything we got. We do have a couple things coming up in February that we're working with the band kids to help fundraise for their New York trip that they're all working very hard on. So we got a couple things coming up on that. So keep a lookout for that. But otherwise, that's all we got.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do have a shout out for Rachel. She stepped up and did some team photos for Little Wolves this year. So she managed that and does that as a sponsor. So appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Always fun to work with the kids.
Next we have an update from the before and after school program.
I'm Katie Warner, and last month, I believe you guys approved me as site coordinator for the 21st Century program here, so thank you. Since October, I've taken over kind of the operations of the program, and I know that our programs have a we have a long history of like this program meaning a lot to working families to make sure their kids are cared for after school, they're doing something fun. We also know that it can be something that kids look forward to at the end of the day, so it helps our kids with attendance. But the purpose of the 21st Century Grant is to establish programs that provide economically disadvantaged students with opportunities for academic enrichment, personal enrichment, and other activities to complement their regular academic program and out of school hours. We are currently in year 2 of a 5-year grant cycle. So during year 2, a monitoring visit from the OPI team is required to ensure that we are in compliance. So that happened in December. This visit covered all areas of operation at the site level, which included a lot of things, but background check policy, hiring, job descriptions, staff evaluations, daily ratios, volunteer logs. It was a ton of stuff. It was over 40 documents that either needed to be created or found from board policies and different things. So we had to pull all that together. So on December 10th, we met in person with the Gallatin Valley Consortium that were a sub-grantee, a part of them. And they went through every document and made sure that we had every single thing in place. At the end of the day, I was given this letter, so I can provide that to you guys, but it basically says that they have notified the superintendent of public instruction that there were moderate issues, and that was out to like the whole consortium. So that this is a letter that's the same for the whole consortium. I had about 3 or 4 things that we had until December 31st to finish, and so we did get a final note that we are totally in compliance. Yay! So these are actually files that the federal government can do like random checks and pull out, so we could be found like ineligible for money right after they do that. So it's really important that we have that all updated. On December 11th, they came out and had a physical monitoring visit where they saw our rooms, they counted the kids, they made sure that we are actually a program that has actual kids who are doing activities. So that was great. I was also able to prove to them that we are in fact one building. We are kind of in there as two sites, and so that's a lot of extra work that's having to be done twice. So in the next grant cycle, hopefully we can consolidate that. So that was good. And so just to give you an update on our regular school year programming, we have both before and after school programs this year. There are 7 staff members that are working every day doing this, plus 2 subs that have been needed pretty regularly. And on average, we have anywhere from 65 to 85 kids who are taking advantage of both before and after school. About 25 of those are coming to before care at 7 o'clock. Or 7:30, anytime until 7:45. And we started that as hopefully a help for parents who rely on that bus service to get to work on time. And so soon we will be announcing a family event. We need to hold one in the fall and one in the spring. So we're going to be holding a spring event and then also one in the summer. We are also in the planning phases of summer enrichment. I know parents are really excited to find out when those dates are. But I'm working with the admin team to determine when the best timing is for building needs and for budget needs. So I'll be back to announce all that information as soon as we have that available. I'm really hoping to have like some mixed age groups. Our kids in our elementary really do that great. We have all our helpers that work with littler kids. They do a great job. And so I'm hoping to incorporate that into our summer program. And there was one more thing. I've also made the initial reach out to currently hired school staff to see who is interested in working for the summer program. That will help me determine how many students we can safely manage with appropriate ratios. And if anybody else is interested, we can hire outside of currently hired school staff. So it is $30 an hour. It's not a bad job. If people are interested, we can get that process started. I can also have 16-year-old or older high schoolers who are interested as a job, and middle school helpers will be needed as well. Are there any questions about 21st century programming?
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you, Katie.
Hey,
Great.
Katie, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, maybe just make it clear that $30 an hour is for the staff for summer programming, but if it's a student, it is not that. We have a student rate as a helper. Or correct me if I'm wrong. I just didn't want. Is that true? I'm sorry, Katie, do you have that amount? What is our student rate?
It's $15 an hour. It's the same rate for any student job in the building across wherever. And then after they've graduated, so if they are a student now, but they're graduating, they can get paid the full rate.
Okay, there we go. That just didn't want any misinformation. Thank you. That was a great report.
Thanks, Katie. Okay, we'll move on to administrator updates, starting with Superintendent Rhonda Uthla.
All right, let me find my, a couple of things, a big day coming up tomorrow. Lisa's got it all worked out, coordinated. We have, that's our big tax credit portal window. And so if anyone is looking for a way to directly support Three Forks schools, the education tax donation allows anyone to designate where a portion or all of your state income tax dollars go. It doesn't cost anybody anything extra. Your state tax dollars go directly to schools with a dollar for dollar tax credit. That portal opens on Wednesday, tomorrow at 10 a.m. And we can only, estimate that we should have a little bit of time to get it in. There have been years when every district across the state will be entering at exactly 10 o'clock in that portal. The state sets a limit on it across the state. So once that limit is hit, the portal closes. Right now, we do have 3 donations. We have one for $130,000, one for $2,000, and one for $500. And just really appreciate those people that are willing to use that as their tax credit. And if you have an interest, please call Elisa Meeks tomorrow morning first thing. We have to have a check in our possession before we can enter into the portal. And so I'm sure Elisa will probably mention that again. We've just been trying to get that message out through Wolves Live and on our website. The other thing I wanted to share, as far as operations and building capacity, the STARS Act is, we know that it did a lot to provide funding for teacher increases, but it also provides, coming up over the next couple of years, additional funding for any student who does dual enrollment. If they graduate with 15 hours or an associate's, there's different breakdowns, 15 hours, 30 hours, an associate's degree, or if they have industry credentials, we will actually get increased A and B for them. And that in turn, yes, it helps our budget, but it also helps us offer more opportunities for students. And it will also help our elementary budget because, for instance, if someone graduates and they have also attended elementary here and they qualify for the extra A and B, the elementary also gets credit because they provided their elementary education. We get extra A and B there. So this is something that we're learning a lot about. We've been sitting in on webinars, just letting you know about that. The next thing, insurance update. We do know there are a number of schools who have opted to go with Elise, help me out. The name of it, I didn't write it down here. It's
Bridged Health Alliance.
Yes. Anyway, we're still on hold with that. We're unique in that we've had really good rates, and we haven't gotten and won't get our bid for our current policy until this spring. So we're just monitoring it, and I believe we have another meeting coming up on it soon. The next thing I was going to just bring to your attention, adult ed. We have one of the most successful adult ed programs, and Tyler Palmer's getting it geared up again. He's sending out notices and asking for, and this is something that community could really give us some ideas, things that you would like to learn, things that you might like to teach others. We're looking for different classes that could be offered, and then of course instructors that would do that. And so that'll be coming up shortly this spring. And the last thing I have is our, we just to let the board know, we did take bids, and we went with a bid for the same company. We have our current activity bus. So a new activity bus has been ordered with the down payment. And I believe the last I heard, it should be here and completed within 6 months. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Any questions for Rhonda? Great, thank you so much.
Sure.
Next we'll move on to high school principal Greg Hayes.
Yeah, so we just wrapped up second quarter semester exams, first semester last week, and we did graduate off 6 seniors, so they'll be getting their diploma on May 31st, but they basically have been deemed graduated. That leaves us, even subtracting those 6 kids, that actually leaves us up 1 since the start of the year. So that's where we're at on high school enrollment, right at 239. So that's been a big task. I'm going to try to get those grades posted as much as I can by tomorrow, and we'll probably be mailing out report cards with the first semester. That's really, the semester grade is what goes on their transcript, so that's the most important. I am keeping the grading window open until Thursday, Friday, so teachers can get those incomplete grades in, and then I'll click the post to transcript button, which is a very daunting button, and then because kids are already requesting their transcripts to be sent to colleges and Army recruiters and everything else. Sorry. Teacher of the month this last month for January was Ben Kane. I'm just giving him a congratulatory mention at a school board meeting. Winter sports, as you know, are competing. Speech and drama actually hosted an event here on Saturday. All news, good news that came out of that. Those coaches, if you ever get to watch a speech and drama meet, those coaches do amazing things. It's not like they're coaching the kids in the rooms, but just the organization of it and the collection of data that's coming in from almost every room in the building was really good. And those are great kids. I haven't heard any complaints from teachers on my end as to things getting damaged in the classroom. So they do a really nice job with that. Wrestling is actually competing tonight against East Helena. There also will be, just as heads up, because I believe our interviews, not to get into that, will take place on Thursday. And the school will be producing information about that, but we also are hosting a mixer that night with 3 schools coming in. So, and 2 of them travel, I think, pretty well. So we'll try to stay out of the main gym, I hope, and cafeteria. So we might have to work on logistics of that. Basketball has been doing well. If you haven't watched our teams play, the girls team is a lot of fun to watch. It's almost more fun to watch the coaching bench. Also our boys team is doing well. And then our cheer team is, been come a long ways over the years. They're doing a great job. With that, I just ask, don't drop your kids off if they're elementary age. We are not the babysitters. We got to clean up that foyer. It's driving our ticket takers nuts. With them I constantly am just trying to tell kids to get in the game. And I know we're happy to have them here. It's safe. Little Wolves, it tests our patience throughout the season, but it's also awesome that the school is able to provide that. So come cheer on the Wolves. With that, Thursday night basketball is playing Jefferson. Steve, Lisa, and myself will be attending a principal's conference, so we won't be in the building. Maybe don't tell the kids that. The 26th and most of the 27th. And then State Speech and Drama is right around the corner. It's in Townsend, January 30th and 31st. So we will cheer on that team, and then we get into state wrestling in February, and tournament season's upon us. So other than that, we're changing a lot of schedules right now. We're making sure parents are aware of that as much as we can. But ultimately, they're high school kids and young adults, and they're still your kids, so keep an eye on them. I'm doing my best here. Any questions for me?
Thanks, Greg.
All right.
Thank you. Next we have elementary principal Steve Fanning.
Hey, Greg had a nice introduction for Little Wolves. No, the season is rolling, and yes, it brings a lot more people into the gym and a lot of younger kids. And what we talked about, it's a lot of kids that don't normally come to games, so they don't know how to act. It was shown on Thursday night's game because we had kids running across the court trying to get to their coaches because they want to sit with their team before the game, but they run across while the game is going on, the big game. And so I think just trying to tell parents, just keep your kids seated. They'll have plenty of time to get down there when the game's over, or they can wait out in the foyer sitting down. We've had a lot of talks in the lunchroom with the bigger kids, and so hopefully that will improve. But it is something we need to make more of an effort for, and that's especially parents. It's important for these kids to watch the games. They get to see what a real basketball game looks like, and they can do that in the seats, not horsing around out in the cafeteria. So big shout out to all of our coaches that are volunteering. They're doing a great job. Also to our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to do it without their assistance. So it's a great program for sure. Operations and capacity building, mass window 2, we're up and running with that. So as far as I know, window 1 went well. I think the more we're doing it, we kind of get more of a hang of it, and it's as far as scheduling it and building it into our normal. So again, it's a lot of work for our staff. It's a collective effort, and I appreciate everything that they do with that. Last Friday, we did have Staff Friday, and in the elementary, we had some data team meetings. It's good information. We benchmark screen kids 3 times in the year. So it was right after winter benchmarking. So it's a good opportunity for us to sit down, talk about how our students are doing, and then adjust any type of groupings that we have and supports we have for math and reading. So again, a lot of work for those teams and for our grade level teachers as well. And I really appreciate everything they did for that. Trimester 2 midterm date was last week. So kind of officially halfway through the year, which is wild. So the report cards for 3 through 5 for midterms will be going home tomorrow. As far as enrollment in the elementary school, we've gained some, we've lost some, holding pretty steady with where we were at the start of the year. 347, that's pre-K through 5th grade. So any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have IT Director Bobby Lover.
I'll start out your paper cut information, which is, the where we're sitting print wise. through our Follow Me print. We're showing a little bit of an overage, but when it goes, nope, I lied, 25, 26, that always helps. A little bit of an overage in our black and white, and we're under in our color. So really, when it comes down to it, we're probably gonna balance out at the end. We pay for an amount in the lease. So we're actually lower there, so we're not paying for stuff that we're not using. So we really, being a little bit of overage on that end isn't a horrible thing, because we did go with a lower lease, which lowers our dollar amount. Yes, we'll have an overage, but it's at the same cost, so at least we're not paying for stuff that we're not using. If you have any more information or questions on this, I can go over that. For IT in general, we did have an internet outage. We did get, it was all external, it was not internal. Lumen did come back at one point and said it was a rodent that had eaten a line. That was not here at the school. I got asked the question, where did the rodent eat? I'm like, no, it was in Cody, Wyoming that the rodent ate it near the railroad track. So no, we did not have a giant rodent eating things here at the school. I had an elementary school kid ask me that. And I thought, you know what, we better clarify this. So no, we did not have a giant rodent eating stuff here. It happened in Cody, Wyoming, but it did take out the internet. And then the next day we were out for about 45 minutes. That one they said was internal. I took down the network completely and I still couldn't get anything to work. So I called them back and said, oh, it's not internal. It's us again. I'm like, really? Just took down the entire thing. So I put it all back up and it came back on. We've gone over the issues and how we're, with Lumen, because that's the only fiber line. It is what it is. Other than that, the network itself is running relatively smoothly. I'm looking at the options for a monitoring software, which I'm hoping with that will do is get all of the network information in one location. Right now, I've got like 6 programs I have to go into. So like when they said it was internal, I had to jump through a whole bunch of hoops to try to figure out what in the world could have been causing it. And then come to find out it wasn't us. So I'm looking at a monitoring system, so I'm hoping to have that up. We did get quotes back, and we have moved forward with getting 2 of our yellow buses cameras updated. We went with the Verkada system. K-12 Montana will be installing. We're waiting to get on their install list, but that will put new cameras and a new system in 2 of our buses. Wolves Live is still up if anybody wants to come up on Thursdays. It's always a party. And then my computer application class is working. We'll do some camera work. We do some truss work. We're gonna do some lighting work. We're doing some sound systems right now. So a little bit of everything coming out of my computer applications class. Questions, concerns on my end?
Someone said they lost signal for the meeting. There's a concern.
Well, you're right, we did.
We're gonna need you to do your updating.
Oh. Nope. Well, I will keep working on that. It says that we're live. I'm not sure why we're not live. That still says we're working here. It could just take it a second to get caught.
Okay.
But any questions for me? I can continue to work on this, but.
Thanks, Bobby. Thank you.
Thanks, Bobby. Okay. Let's see. Next, we'll move on to middle school principal and children's services, Lisa Malmquist.
Hey, right now our enrollment in the middle school is holding steady at 169. 2YK, our enrollment is 31. And in daycare, we're maxed out at 16. We have 8 babies, 0 to 23 months, and 8 toddlers. So that's a fun place to be. I like to spend my mornings over there snuggling a baby. The first semester, as Greg said, just finished up. I was really proud of our students. We had a 99% passing percentage for 6th through 8th grade. And I really feel like meeting with students, we pull eligibility. So when I say eligibility, I'm not just pulling athletes, I'm pulling every middle schooler. And I sit down